Lashley, or you can call me Grace. And if you're tuning in today, you know where I'm at. I am in the Fulton County Library, where I host economic development seminars every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Actually into our last session, the last 3 weeks of this session, and then we're going to be doing things a little bit different. I'm going to give you a heads up about that. But our overall goal was to focus on economic development, is into the future, is to focus on economic development for leaders, community leaders and community business-minded people. The reason why I made this such an important topic is because I do believe that us as business owners can play the part as a medium between the community, our government officials, as well as play a role and start to shape our community needs by us using our business strength and the connections we got. So that's the main tone. But at the end, I do want you guys to have a comprehensive business plan, which many people say, hey, I can do a business plan. But honestly, a business plan to me takes about 3 months, honestly. And it's bit by bit. And I've been telling you guys, any concept that I give you guys related to business plan, if it, like we talked about earlier last week, if we talked about your objective, your product, one section at a time, make it make sense. Get your product and you figure out what it takes to make your product, what is the assembly process, who you're going to contact to get the product done, how much it's going to cost from beginning to end, and how you're going to get it out the door. And then you start talking a little bit more about your target market. So this is kind of what we talked about last week in that brief synopsis, as I told you in that section where you're talking about your product, which was about 5 paragraphs, and it gives the lender an idea, a summary, because you're trying to sell your business to them in these first couple of pages, okay? So that's kind of what we talked about last week, and we talked about a little background, providing a background for yourself, introducing yourself to the lender. If you're not from the sector that your business is in, you want to kind of bridge that gap to the lender to say, hey, I can do this. For instance, my first profession, I'm a nurse. I am an ICU nurse, travel nurse. But my business is real estate, and I have health and wellness guys. But it's real estate. So my first loan was secured through real estate. So when I told them I'm a nurse, they're like, okay, where's the connection? So as I told them this was a hobby, this is something that I did, I found myself in the jam, and I said, hey, I want to prevent people from being in the jam because I'm investing in tax liens. So I made it my business to create a course related to investing in alternative real estate. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you 2 weeks from now, the different avenues of alternative real estate. I'm going to give you the ins and outs of that. But what I teach you on my course is the due diligence behind it, okay? We're going to give you all the methods, going down to the sheriff's office, getting the list. We got you. So with that goes to say, because I went through that, I was able to create a bridge with who I was as a nurse, which is kind of practicing legal nursing consultant, being in the jam in real estate and having to use that legal aspect. And I bridged it into my program. I bridged it into something. So I was able to talk to the lender and show them like, okay, I'm nervous, but look, this is where the bridge come in. So they're like, okay, you have a little history in what you have created. Does that make sense? So they want to see that, as well as you're making the attempt yourself to get your product out. And that's why I say creating a business plan. It physically on paper is 3 months, but the process of starting a new business is 1 to 2 years, especially if you have to get your household together, that we talked about in week 1 and 2. Learning what type of financial documents we will need. We're using them in our household now, a balance sheet and everything, assets versus liabilities. We did that at home, so now we bring it right into our business because we got everything set up. We have become disciplined. We have become accountable. Right there is showing y'all the bridge between your home, your business, and then we're going to bridge into your community needs. So again, let's keep moving. I just wanted to throw that out there so I can kind of give y'all a prime example of how to bridge yourself into your business and who you are, because you want to show the lender that you specialize in what you do. or at least if you don't specialize, you have a great understanding of what's going on. All right. So as we move forward, I think that was kind of what we talked about last week. This week we're moving into the two most important sectors in these 2 weeks that we're talking about the business plan. My main thing is to focus on market analyzation and financial. Those are the weakest points in business plan and in business without you even writing. You don't know where you're marketing at, you don't know your competition. These are things that we're supposed to have already, and if you mapped it out in your business plan, you already see, and that's what we're doing, we're mapping that out. So we're gonna be talking about market analyzation, as far as product, as far as business, competition, and things like that today. And next week, we're gonna get into finances, how to show that, and then we're gonna get into assets. So, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for being here. I see you guys in the audience. Please hit the like button. Please look at this business plan. This business plan, you can have any business plan. All right, guys. But I want the business plan, I want you to, go ahead. You get a little bit closer. I want you to know that the most important thing of the business plan is to make sure that it's comprehensible, it's legible, and it's actually representing what you want. So this is an example of a business plan. This is the top page. Then we're going to go into the table of content. And right here is some of the things that we already touched on last week, which was an executive summary. Look at that video. We have it available. Vision, mission statement, and goals, as well as we went into product. Now, I want you guys to understand that no business plan is the same, but you want to pick out the things that are key to your business and the key elements that's going to help describe your business to the lender. All right, so we went into company summary, a little bit of your background, bridging you into it. I just gave you a brief synopsis of that. As we talked about the product in that 5-page paragraph, we should have talked a little bit about resources, facility, and equipment, what we're going to be using. So we already addressed that. So sometimes when you look at business plans, it looks really complicated, but sometimes you can actually address these in a particular section. So that's why I advise you guys, don't stress yourself. Management and organization, I hope you guys remember, I'm going to highlight that video. The structure of your business, we went into that particular part, and I told you guys that'll be something that will be in your business plan. We're not going to readdress that. But when it comes to the structure of your business and organization, you want to show the lender that you have at least a 2 to 3 year plan, or at least a 2-year plan. And you start with yourself being the sole owner or the sole worker, but then you let them know, hey, I have a contractor that do this. That's part of, you already have your business structure evolving. And I want you guys to see this right here is not that complicated because you already did it. You said, well, I have a contractor that's going to make this particular part of my product. I have someone on Fiverr in a year from now. I think they're great marketers. They're going to market my product. I also sell my product on these particular websites that I have researched that had a connection to my niche. I'll give you an example. The first time I released my course, I released it on Udemy. Udemy is a place where you go where people who are teachers, they want to teach about something. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to teach about tax liens. They teach about all types of stuff, accounting, whatever, just little things. And that showed me if I had an audience, how I can start to market because it was already structured for me. So those are some of the things that I kind of incorporated in some of my summary to the lender and said, hey, I tried it here, where they already have an abundant market for here. Or let me give you another example. If you sell cars and you sell specialty cars and you say, hey, I went on this website and this is special, they have, and you sold and you showed them that, but now I have it on my website. I want to expand, and this is why I want you to help me, help me by giving me a loan. So they're seeing a progression in your business, okay? And that should be all in when you're talking about your product. In brief summaries, you're just introducing it. I'm on Facebook Marketplace right now. I used to be here. I have my own website. They're like, okay, you're showing them who you are. Everything should be on paper. And the reason why I stress this to everybody and my people and everybody, sometimes we can be misrepresented but just by the way we look. But when you come on paper correct and your stuff correct, they can't say no. That's why I'm so thorough about looking good on paper. Nursing showed me that. And making sure I'm doing it in the background because you never know. All right, so that's kind of like the foundations of what we were going through last week. This week, I want to focus on essential skills to master before diving in the market. And some of that, hold on, let me just make sure I got the right one up. Some of that is financial statement, data ratios, all that stuff. Career goals and responsibility. These are some of the things that we had addressed in the last couple of days. But I think I just want to readdress these things because right now we're going to talk about the market. We're going to be talking about your marketing section and analyzing the market, okay? Give me 1 second. The reason why I'm doing this, kind of going to go back into financials, because these are the things that you want to pay attention to when you're analyzing marketing and your competition. These are things that's public. I went so deep in my market analyzation when it came to my second business. I did waist trainers. And I told them about my market. And my market was totally different. My waist trainers were not like, how can I say, you could turn it back to me now. My market was not just the basic girls that go to the club, things like that. So I had to do a whole market analyzation. And I said to the lender, hey, this is $1 billion business right here. This is about market analyzation. This is $1 billion business. These are the entities that intertwine in here. I have the music industry. I have these type of girls that work out. But guess what? I have a special niche. I'm a nurse. And I focus on health and wellness. So I use my waist trainers as restorative and preventative. I have a whole niche for that. I was able to explain in my market analyzation section to the lender that who I'm going to market to is healthcare workers, people who work in public transportation, people who are outside. So I showed them who I was marketing to, which in turn gave me a starting point of who I'm going to focus on when I'm actually implementing this, so I should be doing this right now. Okay? This is help guiding you in your first year or two. And then you can always go back to your business plan and say, okay, that didn't work. Let's just try another market. But I want you guys to understand that. So I was able to present to them, this is how much healthcare workers is in the United States, in Georgia. This is how many have back injuries. This is how many da-da-da. So with preventative and da-da-da-da, they're like, ooh, that's a good little niche. So never think that your niche is not good. You just need to know how to market it to make someone else see the importance of it. But you also want to make sure that it's something that's needed. So we're just going to go into this because I want you guys to remember these particular things. Because as you're looking at your competition, you're looking at your stuff in the market, you want to understand these particular things, which is, let me get to this. Financial literacy, I think we're going to get into that tomorrow. The next thing we're going to talk about is risk management, technical and fundamental analysis of your business market. Emotional intelligence, keeping your cool under pressure, continue learning, adapting to an ever-changing landscape. Never be afraid, guys. AI is your friend, and also pen and paper is your friend too. Make sure that you use it interchangeably. And adopting an elite mindset, the key to sustainable success. So we're going to move past that. We're going to get to risk management. Now, it's protecting your capital. Investing, involve risk, okay? And this is what I want you guys to understand. Your investment do involve risk for your business. So when you're coming up with your market plan, you want to keep these things in mind and try to mitigate the risk factors. So risk tolerance assessment, understand your comfort level with risk. And that goes back to your financial situation. So you've already been saving 5% here, 5% there for your business and for your saving that whole first year just to have some money to get yourself started. So understand your comfort level and risk. Are you comfortable with significant fluctuations? And this is highlighting portfolio value. Or do you prefer more conservative approach? Now, here I use this interchangeably. Portfolio, that's when we're talking about assets. But your portfolio value, those assets is the things that you buy for your business. So you want to make sure that you're buying the right amount of product for what you're selling, realistically. So risk tolerance, this is what I want you guys to keep in your mind as you're going to be getting into market analyzations. These are concepts, guys, just concepts I want you guys to remember. All right, so understand your risk level, and that is what you're investing. Remember, what you're investing in your business is an asset. You don't want to make it a liability. So go in pretty slow. Diversification. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Spreading your investment across different assets, class, sectors, geographical regions, reduce overall risk. What does that mean? If you have a product, it's good for you to try to market on different platforms. Don't put your eggs all in one particular line because anything can happen. I have talked to several people, and I'll say this, and it's so bad because TikTok people made thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And right now you have TikTok people complaining they're jumping off of it. They can't sell nothing, they're restricted. They just living off of TikTok just like people living off of YouTube. But you know, I kept telling certain people, you should have a diverse platform. Don't just be on TikTok to sell your product. Don't just be on, what is it, Etsy. You want to balance this out, especially because you're dealing with different markets and they touch different audience. Market analyzation concepts. This is what we're doing here. Does that make sense? So diversify your portfolio. So when you get into market analyzation on your business plan, you're like, hey, I got 3. Because here I see I can sell them to more people here in this region, maybe that region, maybe this. Does that make sense? I can touch this type of person here. I can touch a younger group here because they're on TikTok, but they like my stuff. I got to kind of switch up my marketing, but that makes sense. So that's where diversification comes from. Position, size, and determine the appropriate amount of investment. I keep stressing that because I even myself, you know, being an investor in real estate, I, you know, have to realize how much to put in and don't put in. You know, what is my risk value? And I don't have a tangible product like some people. Yes, I do. I'm sorry, I have my waist trainers, but I don't keep more than 100. I don't keep more than 50 at home. And whatever products I have, they're online and they're digital. So that right there is me monitoring my position size, my inventory. We're thinking, it's our market. So now we got inventory that's on demand and we have some on hand. So we can go places with that and show like, oh, I got a whole catalog. Does that make sense? Position size, and this is something that we never was taught in high school. Like, what's a position size? And size your position and how to expand it or to, you know, subtract it in the time that you need to. Does that make sense? So determine the appropriate amount of investment for each. Security, that is, security is interchangeable with product. Avoid over allocating to any single investment platform or particular approach. Stop loss orders, implement stop loss orders to automatically sell your product. This says security. This is something I use with the financial literacy side, but I know that I can do it interchangeably, so just bear with me. Automatically sell your product. You don't want to have your products like someone come on your website and you don't have a way to get back to them. For instance, I'm going to give you I know it's hard to determine what website will be good for you, but there are websites that allow you to build your website because AI is there. You do one page at a time and it's free. You don't, and it's totally free. Like Wix is totally free for a basic website but you don't have your own URL. It will say maybe your first last name, Wix, something, something, but you will have your website. You need to do that bit by bit. They have people on, I'm gonna keep talking about Wix maybe because I found that really good. My son used Shopify, I think he has good luck with that. You like any other websites, Shadri? You try Shopify, you like Shopify?
Yeah, I just got Shopify.
You just got Shopify? And did you ever sell on Etsy or anywhere else? Cause those not separate websites, right?
No, that's not a separate website, but I bought off Etsy. You can sell like anything that's like custom made on there.
Mhm.
Charms, or if you make stencils and stuff like that, you can sell that on there. It's just another app.
Another app that specializes in certain things. Now, this is what I want to tell you guys. While you learning, I know a lot of us are not AI, like internet friendly, but AI is making it a little easy. They got templates and everything. If you sell flowers, they got an example for you. It'll be like, do you want one built for you? Give us the concept. Promise you it's not as hard. Also, what my son brought up was the other adjacent website. I use Eventbrite to host, to kind of get this message out. On my website, I have a little section where you get a button that I literally put there. Y'all can jump right on it and get to Eventbrite too, and get to the free. So I'm mitigating loss of sales of people who may not want to buy the program. Maybe they just want to come to a free seminar. This is what you got to be thinking about now. This is market analyzation. Let's keep these thoughts going. And as I tell everybody, some of the concepts I tell you probably run past you, catch it on replay, write that concept down, put it in your email as the header, and text it out. This is what I want to do for my market analyzation. These are the 3 places that I'm going to look at, but I have to see what's the rate of sale for this particular product. That's what you're going to put in your talk text to yourself, in your email, for part of your marketing section of your business plan. One section at a time. Because I say, I don't want no one to be overwhelmed because the things I'm showing you is so detail orientated that you're going to start thinking, and then the next 2 days, you're going to be like, oh, I got another idea. And you can just talk text it to yourself and add it to your business plan. Go back to that email.
Yeah, it's like light bulbs just keep going. It's like, oh my, that about this.
More and more come, and as it comes, that's why I say use AI as your friend. I'm an old school AI. I'm like, oh, I'm about to use this because I got to remember. I'm used to taking notes from people who giving me lecture in nursing school. So I'm like, he said this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So this is why I share this with you guys, so you can make it easy, especially me being 40 or above and having to bridge over to this AI like most people. Everything is AI, as they say. AI can start a whole business for you in 5 minutes. I'm like, well, we still want to know how to do it. We still want to understand what is the building blocks of it so we can control our platform. But let's move forward. So as we move forward, and we're still talking about marketing, we're going to go into fundamental analysis. This involves evaluating the intrinsic value of your product, of what you're bringing, and what you consider assets. Remember, y'all, I said assets is not only something tangible, things that you can have and possess. Assets is relationships. So remember, you want to keep that in mind too when you talk about market analyzation. For instance, if I was doing another business plan, I was like, well, I'll come down to the Fulton County Library every week and I'm partnered with them. That's part of my market analysis. So they have a whole market for me. Boom. We're giving them more details. We're giving them so much that they're not even asking. That's what you want to do. You want to give them so much that they're like, wow, this is really robust. So fundamental analysis involved evaluating the intrinsic value. And like I said, I went into detail with relationships because that plays a part. The intrinsic value, we talked about your product, what it takes to get it done from the beginning to the end, how much it's going to cost you, and how much you make back. That's part of your intrinsic value as well, because to sum up at the end of your marketing analyzation section, and I'm going to say when you do your marketing section, just that summary, it may be some charts in it if y'all geek like me, but the summary, it probably be 5 pages. It's the opening, some details with some numbers in there, where you already tell them like, hey, these are my 3 markets in paragraph 2, and this is where I'm at. Paragraph 4, you're going in and this is how much this one brought in, and this is how much I bring in, and what's expected. Paragraph 5, you're like, let's sum it up, okay? So this is my fundamental analysis of my intrinsic value right now. I would say I'm able to possibly bring this, that, and the third in, and I'm saying possibly, because I have secured a loan where my business wasn't making as much money that I feel it should have been making, and I still was able to secure it because they saw the intrinsic value of what I was selling them. And my background was so steady as far as credit. They saw I had a good credit score, nothing that I'll use. So that's your foundations. Your intrinsic value is at the end of your market analyzation as well. And you want to compare and contrast as well your competition. I think I'm going to talk about the competition now if I don't, but it's very important because that was one thing that I looked into, but I was so afraid to look at what my competition was doing and I wanted to do my own thing. It kind of shut me out to see, hey, they actually winning. I look at how are they winning? And now I'm like, okay, they actually giving free programs out. Let me just give free. You see? So don't cut yourself off for analyzing your competition, guys. I don't know, hope y'all not like me. I'm like, I ain't looking at them. But you need to know who do they cater to. Maybe you don't even need their audience.
But you get the idea.
Yep, you get ideas. And as I explain to people, sometimes in market, I have seen actually, it was a forklift or whatever. Cambodia, they do like equipment. And these people who own these Cambodia franchise, they meet up once a year, talk about their sales, talk about marketing, talk about new innovative things. But they have a competition. Whoever had the most at the end get a little prize. I said, dang, that's amazing. That's friendly competition. That's how we start to learn. So never really afraid to look at your competition. And that's part of your market analyzation too. There is this. I'll be the only person in this particular area selling this. I had to highlight that I'm a black woman, and in my particular market, there's a lot of Caucasian men. I have a lot of connections with lawyers. In my market, not a lot of them have connection with lawyers. Whatever I could do to distinguish myself from my competition and use a little bit of theirs, this is part of your market analyzation process, putting that together. So I hope these concepts are kind of getting ideas in your head, because market analyzation can be a two-pager in your business plan, but you want to have these concepts for the paragraphs. And then you just stick some charts in there if you need to. Yep, paragraphs. That's all it's about. Learn how to write good and sell. It is. And you will implement it because you thought about it so much. As you drove, you're like, wait a minute. Then you went back. That's why I said, me creating my business plan, it got a little long-winded. That's why they liked it, the business plan. It was like 52 pages. But it was detailed, and they saw that I took my time, and it took me about 30-something days, but it was well worth it. And then I submitted it to someone who do the business plan to review it and see if there's anything missing and edit. Because you don't always got to do things yourself, okay? All right, so let's keep this in mind. Technical analysis, this involves studying historical prices, charts, trends. That's kind of always talking about value, identify the patterns in your market, predict future prices. I was into tax liens and tax deeds like 7 or 8 years ago where nobody even cared about it. And now you have everybody have a course about it. And people like, yeah, just get into it, you know. And I'm like, I knew it. The market's gonna get so bad. I saw it, that people was gonna need to get into real estate. And that's why I created it. But I created my niche not only to just teach them these ways, I needed to be safe. So I feel like I'm the nurse of real estate. Preventative, let's go. Learn as much so you can prevent getting sick. So I had to go through, you know, I gotta sell pitch to y'all a little bit. Anyway, technical analysis, okay, we moving forward. Where I'm at, emotional intelligence, we can sum this up. Again, this goes with accountability. When you're looking at the market, it can make you go, oh, I'm gonna buy 1,000 of these. Or you get afraid, like, I'm not gonna look at my competition like how I was. But regardless, emotional intelligence plays a part with your market analyzation, the way you look at things. Because if you're in an emotional rut, you're gonna look at things different. So emotional intelligence, I talk about this throughout the whole program, and being accountable. So recognizing and managing emotions, again, being aware of how your emotions are influencing your investment decisions. Avoid making impulsive trades, that's buys. or being on a platform just because you like it. I mean, I'm like that type of person. Like, I like YouTube, but YouTube is not a place where I can sell my waste streams. So if I was so stuck on there, I'd like,
Go.
yeah, and you don't do that. Don't do that. Have emotional intelligence. Try. I don't like Instagram, but I'm gonna try it because that's what works. That's what's working right now. So be aware of how your emotion influence your investment decisions, your buying. Avoid making impulsive decisions based on fear and excitement. Patience and discipline is something I always talk about. Okay. Stick to your investment strategies. That's why we did the business plan. Try to. And you can always go back and tweak it if it doesn't work, but this is giving you a guideline. This is your guideline. So have patience, be disciplined. It's not going to happen overnight. Every business that I have saw started in 2016 under the first Trump administration, that's why I'm still here. And I just got to say, a lot of the get rich thing, they win hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions, even some of them out here in Atlanta. Where are they? They're not here. They didn't have a real business plan. I went to some of these people who had these things. I would think about partnering with them. You know, I'm not defaming nobody. And then I'll say, something not right. But I know if I give them my product, I probably sell a whole lot. But I'm the one that's still standing with a credible name right now. Still moving inch by inch. So just remember that patience and discipline. Something's not right. Value if that person is an asset liability or situation. You see what I'm saying? So when you have patience and diligence and discipline, you'll be able to look at the market, catch things.
See right through.
Yeah. As well as catch things that may help you. Like I can work with this person because they're accountable. I've seen it. I'm not dealing with emotions. I'm watching this person for a little while. Maybe they probably not this fast running, but we can make something happen, and you may have a beautiful partnership. So it works two ways. You know, I'm not always like, everybody's suspect. I try not to be like that. Anyway, learn from mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Nobody's perfect. Everyone make mistakes. Analyze your past decisions. I bought too much. It's okay. Now I have this inventory. How can I revamp my plan to get this off? I may not get it off as fast as I could, but I could try. Let's see what we're gonna do. That happened to me when I first bought all my waist trainers. I thought I was about to do my thing. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even sell it. Ain't nobody even looking at my Instagram, nothing. I had to come up with an alternative method. And as I did my contracts as a nurse, I was known as the waist trainer nurse. I was like, I gotta sell these. And I wanted to sell to that market. So I'm walking on my break, like, I want to try this waist trainer on. I had to do something. So again, learn from your mistakes, be diverse. I had a lot of equipment, a lot of waist trainers, and it took about 4 or 5 months, 2 contracts, but I sold them. And I built people. So always, learn from mistakes, don't be too mad. And that's when I learned, I ain't doing all that inventory. So I'm gonna be at my home, most gonna be drop shipping. Let me find what I can do drop shipping. Okay. So that's so continue learning and adapt to an ever-changing landscape. Again, stay informed. Follow the financial news, even if you think it don't connect to your market. Beef with China slows down mail coming into America. I have products coming from China, from Pakistan. It's supposed to took a month. It took 2 months. I had people who wanted to buy something, but now, does that make sense? But I didn't pay attention to the market. That don't got nothing to do with me. I don't care what Trump doing. Ain't got nothing. You gonna look so you can figure out how, okay guys, because of the market, you're gonna change your terms of deliver for yourself. Pay attention, stay informed. Don't say it don't involve me, because us as community leaders and economic development, people who are focused on community economic development, we supposed to pay attention to everything. We're trying to be leaders. It's not just a business owner. We want our clients and to be family. That's what I want. Because once you have somebody who loves you, the word of mouth is way better than the internet, because it could be shut down today. That's how some of these artists stay so good, because they had that really deep fan base. No matter what it was, they'll follow them from place to place. And I watched that. And I said, it is about relationships. It is about building a connection with your audience, with your people, with the audience, your customers, okay? So seek mentorship. Thank you for showing up today, guys. I appreciate you guys. And I always seek mentorship. I'm always like, what you know? What you know? Yep, I used to mess with them lawyers like, huh, what happened? And then like superiority come there and yeah, I'll just listen like, okay, so don't be offended. Somebody's trying to teach you something. Some people have the spirit of offense, like, I don't want to learn. Just listen because they may say something repetitive, but something that you may not heard. So stay informed, seek mentorship, financial advisors. They have this for free. The Small Business Administration, I always recommend that. I don't work for them, but I have used them in Atlanta. They are robust. They have a robust referral service that's free. That's how I got the loan that I got for $40,000 from Ace Woman Loan. Shout out to Ace Woman Loan. I just connected them with the library to let them know that they have these services. And I went through a world of seminars on how to market, how to make a website, what to look for, talking to customer, how to pitch. I didn't even know I could say things in 3 minutes and sum it up. I had to learn those things. So use your resources that's there and be committed. And this is all part of that same time frame that you're doing your business plan, you building yourself up. Don't think that you can start your business today and this is going to be just be. That's it. Don't beat yourself up. Embrace new technologies. Again, we old school, we're a little older. So go on and learn what platforms are easy for you to navigate. I don't recommend platforms that use iOS, I think that is, like more digital based. Ones that, like coding based. No. That's why I like Wix. There's no coding in it, and they're so helpful. Everything, like if you just type that you need help, they'll call you back in 5 minutes about your website, about whatever. Wix needs to give me a discount or something, because I don't talk about Wix. That makes sense, okay. So those type of things. Just choose an easy, good platform for you to navigate, even if it is Etsy, and you start there. Just put that one product. Start somewhere small, but then you go on to your everybody got Facebook and y'all got friends. Just let them know what you're doing. And then create a business page. And then put your stuff on your little website. Like it's not even your own website because you're using Etsy now. And then you connect it to your business page on Facebook, which is free. You invite your friends. They like which you already got a pseudo website. That's part of your marketing plan. Where you told them, well, I started on Facebook and I had these amounts. Then I moved my product from here to here. They sort of build up. So I'm kind of addressing some ways that you can use AI to your benefit for free. Facebook is our age, I think. TikTok, oh Jesus, and IG, you making a video thing is a lot for me, but it's okay. It's okay. One day I'm gonna have somebody I contract to do that. That's in my business plan for a year from now.
You see the future.
Yeah, you got to declare it, even the things that you don't even see. Be delusional.
That vision.
About your vision. So set clear goals. That's where we at. Look at that. Set clear goals within this market analyzation section and all your sections. Define your investment objective, or let's say your lending objective. Like, hey, I'm using this money right now because I can get out 500 products every month, but I want to go to 1,000 products, and I know if I have this amount of income, it'll increase, and then I can do marketing with it. So I'm thinking of doing a budget. We'll talk about that a little bit detail when we get into the financials, because you need to tell them, hey, I want $40,000, $10,000 for marketing, $5,000 for this, $3,000 for this. I'm gonna pay you back with this. That's what we're gonna talk about next week.
Break it down.
That's what they want to see. That you got a plan. This is where we fail in business planning. So, okay, think responsible. If you're gonna make this plan, stick by it. Guys, the hardest thing to do is to get a business loan and then it doesn't yield what it needs. You gotta pay it back. Okay? I got halfway through my business plan, slowing down my business because of COVID, and I had to focus on COVID. I'm paying my loan with most of my private money though.
Now you're dipping into your personal.
Because you got to think about this. I'm not gonna never lie to you. I got the loan, but now you got to think about this, keeping your credit in pace. So have a realistic plan. Be responsible. Ace Women Loan, they have worked with me because I had to modify my payments. My payments was
Yeah.
a little high, about 700 and change. I let them know this is what I'm doing, this is my income, this is what's been happening. They're like, okay, we can modify it to $400 a month. We see that you're trying, this is what your lender wants to see. And they will work with you too. So I'm kind of talking about the after effects too, but be realistic about this because you'll be stuck with it. Then, you know, everything you worked for this whole year and a half, you messed it up. Well, honestly, you know business credit is separate from your personal. But that don't mean we don't want y'all to be credible. You know, like some people just. So I have to be honest and I tell the truth. Business credit is different from personal, but don't think that these creditors can't find a way to continue to come after you and eventually put a lien on you. Don't think that they never can do that because as a one-person LLC, you still hold some responsibility for your business. So take responsibility, maintain a long-term perspective. We talked about that, focus on a long-term goal, at least 2 to 3 years with this business plan. Stay disciplined, stick to your investment strategies, what you plan on doing. If you told them 6 months, I'm gonna be buying 100, stick to that 100 for a little while. I know in the 6 months you could probably buy more, but stick to it and see how much you can save, get some, and then move forward. Just take your time. If you really need to expand because you're getting all, do what you gotta do, but kind of stick to the plan and see first before you, because if you get excited, like, yeah, I made $5,000 this month, and then something slows down. So, emotional intelligence, stay disciplined, embrace challenges, view the market volatility as an opportunity to learn and grow. That's the best thing I can tell you. When things go to the left, put your head up. That's it, because things are going to go to the left as far as you never know what happens with your product, with your manufacturer, what's going to slow you down. Maybe a foundation of your money was from your job for right now, and something changed. So embrace challenges, look at things from a perspective like one door closes, another one open, and it's not easy as it said, but I promise you that's what happens when something moves away, another door opens, especially when you're focused and you're staying positive. So that's definitely what I want to highlight. What time is it, guys? Because I think I have just a talk through. I'm pretty much done with this part. What time is it? It is, oh, it's 2:55. Okay. So, let's see, market analyzation, why market, okay. Define your, all right, so I'm just gonna get to this real quick. I need you guys just to take these notes, because I gave you a lot of concepts to think about. So in your market analyzation section, how to create your business market analyzation step-by-step section, define your market and industry, number one. I'm reading off of this. Define your market and industry clearly, concisely. That's a paragraph. Write an overall industry, write about the industry. As I told you, I said waist trainers, $1 billion, all the beautiful girls. I go to them, they like, look at you. But then I said my niche is, paragraph number 2. Let's go. Paragraph number 3, what is the size of your market? Again, that's kind of intertwining, because you bridged in the end, you close off, well, this is my niche. Now you're going into my size of my market is. That's the next paragraph. Does that make sense? Then what is the size of your market? Total accessible market. How many potential customers? How much revenue can you possibly generate? You can sum that up in 5 sentences. They want to see that. What is your growth rate? Well, according to them, they sell waist trainers at 15%. I'm just throwing something out. But because I'm in this niche, I would say it's about a 3% growth rate. But it may be more because I'm dealing with healthcare where people have so many, so it's interchangeable. But you let them know, you can't get nothing perfect because you're going online kind of looking for marketing information about your needs. And you're literally saying, how much paint bowls sell a year to little girls? That's your marketing analyzation. How many black little girls? How many, where are you going with this? That's it. It's basic Google search that's going to keep giving you more and more detail into your market analyzation. That's what market analyzation is. You don't go no particular place, ain't no website to say every market here. You just ask questions and Google going to kind of just give you a little bit more, and you're going to reference those if you a geek like me. Okay, you're going to reference those. All right. The growth rate, identify the subsegments. That's all there. That's all there. I did my subsegment. So we identified our target audience. That should be within the section, like I told you, the industry that you're focusing on. Is there something that makes your product stand out? Don't forget, make yourself special. Geographic, I cater to older ladies, I cater to younger men, I deal with these type. Psycho, social issues, I sell soaps to men who play sports, billions of soaps. I have this connection, does that, so these are some of the things you may want to add, not everything verbatim, but I want you to show them that you are analyzing your customer as well as the market. So this is something that when you should start talking about who you're selling for. Remember that paragraph I told you? So that paragraph may go into a little bit more who the people are, but that is it. And you did put in the little number that you Googled, and it looks better. Guys, does that make sense? I want you to look so good on paper that they ain't asking you nothing. Okay? Now, the next thing is geographics, the needs points, if you want to highlight the need for your product. The buying behavior, same thing I'm telling you guys. These are the same concepts that I talked about. So, creating a buyer persona. This was something that I had to learn about. Who am I selling to? And that was for real. That really made me come up with a structure of my program. I wanted to help what we used to be the middle class. I don't know what we are, to have or have nots. But I want to help the middle class get a gain on society, on our economy, on our loan rates, on our housing market. How do we do that? We have to be in the same position as these private companies. What are they doing? They have a company. They lobby. They got customers who support them. They're the people who are in our communities. We can do the same thing. We have to switch the focus, and that's where it's so important to have these concepts, have them already in. And I don't go tell a lender that you're trying to do an uprise. I'm just playing y'all. We're trying to make sure that we're going to buy y'all out. Okay, because this is for community benefit, but they want to hear that too. This is the market that I'm catering to, this particular community, and why. All right? So the buyer persona will help you, because you're telling them already right here, just a little section. When you go into really like marketing outside of this business plan, they want you to write about your buyer persona. Who is it? A woman, a man? What are they hobbies? What they like to do? And once you do that, you're gonna know how to talk to your customers. And I'm learning that myself, guys. And I'm not a marketer, because I'm a straight teacher. But I had to learn how to talk to people. People can't be just with information. I had to be a little funny, a little whatever, a little something. But that's what you want to know, who you're dealing with. Example, as I deal with pediatric kids, I got to come in more funny with my stuff. So adjust, know your market.
You got to cater to them.
Yup, and that's going to tell you where you're going to go. What platforms is for them. This is all coming back to a circle. Does it sound like? Yup, it's all coming back to a circle, so it's not that complicated. It is really easy. So you do your buyer persona. That's something that you can learn if you go to the Small Business Administration and take a marketing course for free. They have a lot of them online doing a 3-minute pitch. Who is your person? That's for later on, but you already looked at that in our business plan. So when you go there, you go refine your skills. You're like, oh, okay, I kind of know what customers I want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, this is important. I want you to add this section. It's a give or is it not? But I really think it's a give because it shows emotional intelligence, analyze your competition. Who else is trying to win the hearts of your customers? Who is they target people? And again, I mentioned that earlier to you guys, but we can just go more in detail. Direct competitors offer similar product. Indirect competitors, which offer different solutions to the same problem. You do soaps, they do spray soaps. You may not think, I'm sorry, spray soap, soft soap, whatever. You may not think that don't involve you, but eventually you're going to expand. You may do soaps like that. Start now. That's it. Start now. Who's your competition? What are they doing? How did they start? Get the information and take it one step at a time. Now we're gonna kind of start to wrap things up because we're at the top of the hour. Looking at your competition, suitable products, alternative products, that can replace your product, you want to know, because that's kind of like bad competition too, you know. So you want to see maybe how you can dove into that market, create an alternative. Never just, and I always mention this, me, all I want to do is teach. But I can't just be focused there. I have to make sure that I'm in the market and doing what I need to do, making sure my portfolio is good and everything. So with that goes to say I have two things to balance out, and that's the same thing that people have to be in it, making sure that they're getting things done and they have that effective plan moving forward, okay? So it is indirect competitors, substitute products. My substitute products, that just to close off, is when I talk to my customer about my product, it makes them more comfortable because they know I'm in it. It's kind of like a substitute product. I'm kind of like a substitute product because then I have one-on-one with people. I'm a product, not just that. So have substitute products. Take your time. Does that make sense? You never know where you start at to where you're gonna end. That's what the business is planned for. So again, identify your unique selling position. I went into looking at your competitor's product, analyzing the market. Analyzing this is a great framework. Remember this, we're gonna close off with this. These are things that when you're analyzing a market for any industry, analyzing this a great framework is one, the political, government policies, regulations that would affect you. You're making so you got to make sure that they stay together. You get in trouble for that. You're making food, no policies. Allergies, so no policies. Economic, what's the growth potential? Inflation, if it hit you, how would you manage that? That's why in the next 2 weeks we're getting into getting assets. Because I'm going to teach y'all how to get some real estate without having a home loan. Get some assets behind you, because that's the other security of your business plan. Because I told the lender, well, I invest in tax lien and tax deeds, and I already have 2 properties. They're like, oh, that's an asset, and she's successful doing it. I make this product, and I already have 2 machines, and I do it at home. Oh, she's successful, and she has asset for it. It don't always have to be what I'm talking about. I just use myself as an example. Does that make sense? And then you show them like, hey, I got an asset too. So that's just kind of throwing that in there. So economic growth, inflation, interest rates, and employment level. That's kind of being broad when you're looking at economic, but we just keep that in mind. Social, the geographic shift, lifestyle trends, culture value changes. Today's what's good today probably wasn't good before. They probably wouldn't even touch this type of product, I keep talking about soap, like shea butter. Oh, let's talk about sea moss. Nobody knew about that till after the oil. And all of us came out there with that. Now you got everybody, the moss, different colors. We like, oh man, it was a market. We created a market, so does that make sense? So sometimes the trends, the cultural values, things change, and you need to go along with that. Legal laws, environment, climate change, that's about it. So just to close off, assess your barriers. And this is about the market too. I told you guys, me and another lady out here, she was teaching tax liens. But everybody else is, when I was getting into tax liens, I learned it from lawyers, white Caucasian lawyers, men. And it's still, real estate is dominated, kind of by men, and this industry is too. So again, it's like, what's my barriers? Because I know if I go over there and talk, they ain't gonna tell me much. I don't know. So what's my barriers realistically? And how can I break those barriers? And that's the same thing you want to do with your business. So I said a mouthful. I want to say thank you for attending today. I appreciate you guys. I want to tell you this. We have 2 more weeks. Next week, we're going to get into finances, going right back into assets versus liabilities, not as corny as we were before. We had to go into the corny stuff. Like, this is the 3 saving methods. You're going to put it in the envelope. We went through all of that. Like, seriously, just reminding how, but now we're going to apply that to business. How to demonstrate that to the lender, that you have a real financial plan, That involves what you're gonna use the money for, where it's gonna be divided, how you're gonna pay them back, what's going on, and it's still, you could take elements from the marketing part for the potential of money, you already did that already, and bring it into the financial part. So I'm giving y'all a heads up for next week.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so I wanna say thank you so much for being here with Miss Grace. If you don't know, I'm headed down into Atlanta, where we do our Atlanta food giveaway. We had 96 lasagna meals today.
What?
Check us out on our Grace Levi channel. We here for the community. I want to say I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I see you guys in the audience, and thank you for being here. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. So how was it?